Right now, without knowing it, your mind is building the world around you. Not someday. Not in theory. Right now. Every thought you have, every feeling you feel, every belief you carry, even the ones you never say out loud, they are quietly shaping the life you are living. Most people never learn this. They go through their whole life reacting to things, wondering why the same problems keep showing up, wondering why some people seem to have it all while others struggle no matter how hard they try. But there is a hidden pattern behind it. Science is starting to catch up with something ancient wisdom has said for thousands of years. Your mind is not just watching your life. Your mind is creating it. In the next 25 minutes, we are going to break this down in the simplest way possible. No confusing science talk. No complicated theories. Just clear, practical truth you can start using today. By the end of this audiobook, you will understand exactly how your thoughts, your feelings, and your daily choices are building your future, and how you can start building a better one. If this is your first time listening to our channel, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. You are always creating something. Here is a simple truth. You cannot stop creating. It is not something you choose to do sometimes. It is something you are doing every single moment, whether you notice it or not. Think about your day yesterday. You woke up. You had a thought about how the day would go. Maybe you expected it to be stressful. Maybe you expected it to be easy. That one small thought set a direction. Then your feelings followed. Then your actions followed your feelings. And by the end of the day, your life looked a lot like what you expected in the morning. This happens so quietly that most people miss it completely. They think life just happens to them. But if you look closely, you will see the pattern. Your inner world always shows up in your outer world. Here is an easy way to picture it. Imagine your mind is a gardener, and your life is the garden. Every thought is a seed. You do not get to choose whether you are planting seeds. You are always planting something. The only choice you have is which seeds you plant. If you spend your day thinking about what could go wrong, you are planting seeds of worry. If you spend your day thinking about what is possible, you are planting seeds of opportunity. Weeks later, you look at your garden and wonder why it grew that way. But the seeds were planted long before the harvest. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is not about ignoring real problems. It is about understanding that where you place your attention becomes the soil your future grows from. So here is your first question to sit with. What have you been planting lately? Take a moment. Do not judge yourself for the answer. Just notice it. Awareness always comes before change. You cannot fix a pattern you refuse to see. Chapter 2. The science behind the idea. You might be thinking, this sounds nice, but is there any real science behind it? Actually, yes, and it comes from one of the strangest and most fascinating parts of physics, the study of very small particles, called quantum physics. Here is the simple version, without the confusing math. Scientists discovered that at the tiniest level of reality, particles do not behave like solid little balls sitting in one fixed place. Instead, they exist as a kind of possibility, a cloud of potential outcomes, until something observes them. The strange part is this. The act of observing seems to affect what actually happens. Now, this does not mean you can think a mountain into existence, or wish a car into your driveway. That is not what we are talking about. What it does suggest, in a much more grounded way, is this. Attention and awareness play a real role in how reality unfolds. Where you place your focus is not a passive act. It is an active one. You already experience a small version of this every day. Have you ever bought a new car, and suddenly you start noticing that same car everywhere on the road? The cars did not multiply overnight. Your attention changed, so what you noticed changed. Your brain started filtering the world differently the moment your focus shifted. Now stretch that idea further. If your attention can change what you notice, It can also change what you move toward, what opportunities you recognize, what risks you take, and what doors you knock on. Over months and years, that adds up to a completely different life path. This is the real, grounded version of your mind creates your reality. It is not magic. It is focus, attention, and the choices that follow from them compounding quietly over time until one day you look up and realize how far they have taken you, for better or for worse. Chapter 3. Your thoughts are like magnets. Let's talk about a pattern you have probably noticed in your own life, even if you never had words for it. Have you ever been around someone who is calm, and somehow you feel calmer too? Or been around someone who is anxious, and their stress rubs off on you within minutes? That is not your imagination. Emotional states are contagious. We pick them up from each other constantly, almost like catching a cold. But there is something even more important happening beneath that. Your dominant thoughts and feelings do not just affect the people near you. They shape what you are drawn toward and what is drawn toward you. Think of it like a radio station. Every station is broadcasting a certain frequency. If your radio is tuned to a rock station, you are not going to hear jazz, no matter how much jazz music exists in the world. You will only receive what matches your frequency. People work in a similar way. If you are constantly tuned into fear, doubt, and lack, you will notice more reasons to feel afraid, doubtful, and like you don't have enough. Not because the universe is against you, but because that is the frequency you are tuned into, and it is the frequency you are broadcasting outward to. The good news is this frequency is not fixed. You are not stuck on one station forever. You can retune it. This starts with a simple daily habit, catching yourself. Several times a day, pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? What am I thinking right now? You do not need to fix it immediately. Just notice it. That single habit, done consistently, is one of the fastest ways to start shifting your frequency because you cannot change what you refuse to notice. Chapter 4. Why wanting something too badly can push it away. Here is something that surprises most people the first time they hear it. The more desperate you feel about getting something, the harder it often becomes to get it. Think about job interviews. The candidates who walk in relaxed, confident, and unattached to the outcome often perform the best. The candidates who walk in desperate, needing the job to survive, often come across as tense and unsure, even if they don't mean to. Or think about relationships. The person who needs constant reassurance, who feels like they cannot be okay without the other person's approval, often pushes people away without realizing it. Meanwhile, the person who is calm, secure, and not desperate for validation tends to attract people naturally. This is not a coincidence. Desperation carries its own energy. It says underneath the surface, I don't have enough. I am not enough. And whatever we believe on the inside, we tend to act out on the outside, often in small, subtle ways we don't even notice. So how do you fix this? Not by pretending you don't want something. You are allowed to want things. Big things even. The shift is in your relationship to the outcome. Instead of thinking, I need this to be happy, try shifting to, I would love this and I am already okay without it. That single shift takes the desperate edge off your energy. It lets you pursue your goals with excitement instead of fear. And ironically, that is often when things start moving in your favor. This does not mean stop trying. It means stop grabbing. There is a difference between reaching for something with open hands and choking it with tight fists. Open hands allow things to come to you. Tight fists push everything away, including the very thing you were trying to hold on to. Chapter 5. Living in alignment, not in conflict. Have you ever had a day where everything just flowed? Green lights the whole way. The right person calls at the right moment. An idea drops into your head exactly when you need it. And then you've had days where absolutely nothing goes right, no matter how hard you push. The difference often comes down to one word: alignment. Alignment simply means your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are pointing in the same direction instead of fighting each other. Picture someone who says they want to build a successful business, but every time they sit down to work on it, their mind is flooded with doubt, their body is tense with stress, and they procrastinate because deep down, they don't believe it will work. Their goal and their inner state are in conflict. They are pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. Now picture someone with the same goal, but their mind stays focused on solutions instead of problems. Their body feels steady instead of anxious, and their actions move forward even when it's uncomfortable. That is alignment. Everything is pulling the same direction. You do not need to feel perfect to be aligned. You just need to stop fighting yourself. Alignment starts with small, honest questions throughout your day. Does this thought support where I want to go, or does it work against it? Does this action move me forward, or does it keep me stuck? You don't have to answer these perfectly every time. Just asking them regularly begins to shift your default patterns. Over time, alignment stops being something you have to think about, and it becomes how you naturally live. Chapter 6. Your actions ripple further than you think. There is one more piece to this puzzle, and it is often the one people forget. How you treat other people matters, not just morally, but practically. It comes back to you. This is not some mysterious cosmic punishment system. It is much simpler than that. People remember how you make them feel. They remember if you were honest or if you cut corners. They remember if you helped them when it wasn't convenient for you, or if you only showed up when there was something in it for you. Over years, this builds a reputation, a network, and a kind of trust that opens doors no amount of talent alone can open. And the opposite is true too. Dishonesty, selfishness, and cutting corners tend to catch up with people eventually, even if it takes a while. Beyond that, there is something even bigger happening. Every action you take doesn't just affect you. It touches the people around you, who then carry that energy into their own interactions with others. A single kind action can ripple outward in ways you will never fully see or trace. You don't need to overthink this. You don't need to calculate the long-term cosmic impact of every small choice. You simply need to ask one honest question before you act. Is this choice coming from integrity, or is it coming from fear and shortcuts? That one question, asked consistently, will guide you toward decisions that build a life you can respect, and a life that other people want to be part of. Conclusion: bringing it all together. Let's bring everything we covered back into one simple picture. You are always creating something, whether you realize it or not, through the thoughts you repeat and the attention you give them. Your focus is not passive. It actively shapes what you notice, what you move toward, and what moves toward you. Your thoughts and feelings act like a frequency, drawing in people and situations that match that same frequency. Desperation pushes things away, while calm, confident desire tends to draw them closer. Real progress happens when your thoughts, feelings, and actions stop fighting each other and start moving in the same direction. And finally, how you treat others quietly shapes the kind of life, relationships, and opportunities that come back around to you. None of this requires you to believe in anything strange or mystical. It simply requires you to pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, and your choices, because they are building your life whether you are watching or not. So starting today, ask yourself one simple question and keep asking it. What am I building right now with this thought, this feeling, this choice? That single question asked again and again is enough to slowly and steadily change the direction of your entire life. If this audiobook gave you something valuable today, do us a favor and hit subscribe and leave a comment letting us know which part hit home for you. We read every single one. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.